All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some huge news to talk about. I've kind of delayed it for a couple of days only because we had so much draft coverage to talk about with my pre-draft coverage the days before, leading up until the day of, and then obviously Friday, Saturday, Sunday was all recapping what had happened. So now it's finally time today to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Boy, is this story crazy. This story is absolutely crazy. Aaron Rodgers, it came out the day of the draft. Adam Schefter had put out a tweet that said Aaron Rodgers is disgruntled and unhappy with the Green Bay Packers and says that he does not want to come back and play for them. He will not come back and play for the Green Bay Packers this season. So, of course, on the day of the draft, this takes over the sports world. This is the biggest story ever because it's Aaron frickin' Rodgers. This is a huge story. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to come back to the Green Bay Packers. Now, some may say that you could see the writing on the walls. You could see this happening for a couple of years now with the Packers never really giving Aaron Rodgers any weapons. They don't really get anybody in free agency. They don't really draft anybody. They did take Amari Rodgers this past draft, but is that really going to help that much? So after that happened, then it came out that he says that he will not play for the Green Bay Packers. He will not play for them. The Packers say that they will not trade him, and that Aaron Rodgers is considering retirement over coming back and playing for the Green Bay Packers. That's how frayed this relationship between Rodgers and the Packers is. That Rodgers is debating retiring over going back and playing for the Packers. Now, Rodgers does have some off-the-field things that he's probably interested in. He hosted Jeopardy for like a week or something a couple of weeks ago. So he's got some off-the-field things that he's probably excited about that he wants to do. But I don't think he's going to retire. I think that he holds out and gets out of Green Bay. Somehow he gets out of Green Bay. I know that the Packers said they don't want to trade him, but the Giants also said that they wouldn't trade Odell Beckham Jr., and then like a couple of weeks later, he's on the Browns. So anything can happen in the NFL. We've seen that over the past couple of seasons. Anything can happen. Who would have thought that J.J. Watt would leave Houston and go to Arizona, of all places? So anything can happen, and I think Aaron Rodgers will not be in a Green Bay Packer uniform at the start of next season. But also, an interesting little side nugget is that a couple of days ago, it came out that the 49ers had offered the third overall pick plus a bunch more for Aaron Rodgers. And that story really got kind of like covered under the rug because everybody was like recapping the draft and what had happened, and nobody really talked about that. But that was a significant little note or a little piece of information that the 49ers were willing to give up the third overall pick plus a bunch of other stuff to get the reigning MVP, future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. Now, how that situation would work in Green Bay or in San Francisco, I don't know. Obviously, Rodgers would start over Garoppolo, no doubt. There's not even a doubt in my mind that would happen, obviously. So, would they ride with Rodgers for a couple of seasons, depending on how long he has left, and then just have Garoppolo sit the bench, maybe learn from Rodgers? I don't know how much Garoppolo can learn at this point, but obviously that's not going to happen now because the Packers are, quote-unquote, not going to trade Aaron at any cost. But I don't think that's up to the Packers at this point. I think that the relationship is so broken and so beyond repair. And Rodgers is at the point, there's certain players that get to a point where they are, I don't want to necessarily say bigger than the team, but players that are in a different atmosphere, a different stratosphere of relevance. And Aaron Rodgers is in that same stratosphere. There's guys like Brady is in that stratosphere. Drew Brees is in that stratosphere. Guys like that, legendary players. And Aaron Rodgers has made so much money over his career that it wouldn't hurt him. It wouldn't hurt him one bit if he sat out until the Packers decide to trade him. So this is really a win-win for Rodgers. This is a lose-lose for the Packers. Because if they don't trade him, he's sitting out. He's not playing for the Packers. He's already said that he will not play for the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, he could change his mind. Things change. People change. We're still many months away from the start even of training camp, and we are a long way away from the start of the regular season. So things could happen in those months, the summertime months, when we start to get to open training camps and stuff like that, that Rodgers may come back, or he may decide to hold out. But Rodgers has all the leverage here. The Packers are really in a, like I said, a lose-lose situation where if they don't trade him, he sits out because he's so angry he doesn't want to play with them. Then they have to go to Jordan Love, or they trade him and they lose the reigning MVP. Yes, they're going to get back a hefty king's ransom for Rodgers, but what does that do for you if you get 2 first-round picks and maybe a young player and another? I don't know. I don't know what the package would be, but it would have to involve a couple first-round picks probably from whoever decides to trade with the Packers. But say you get that, and then Jordan Love doesn't work out, because Jordan Love's unproven. Jordan Love hasn't done it in the league. Who knows how good he is? He wasn't even really that good in college. So who knows how good Jordan Love's going to be? But you've got a proven guy, a Hall of Fame guy in Aaron Rodgers that doesn't want to play for you. So this whole situation, man, is just crazy. It's so wild that, of course, a guy like Aaron Rodgers would have this information come out the day of the draft. Man, that just blew up the sports world. It was crazy. There was so much stuff to talk about that I wanted to do it the day of, but I had already put out that video of my draft predictions and all that stuff. My mock draft and all that kind of stuff was already coming out and stuff. I didn't want to add even more content to that. So now, man, this whole thing, and the NFL just keeps on producing, man. There really is no off season for the NFL. They just keep having storylines. I mean, I'm going to have a video coming up here middle of May when they release the schedule. Yeah, I'm going to have to make like 1 or 2 videos on the release of the schedule for the NFL. That's how big the NFL is. They just make things stories. They have such a good way of planning out all these different events that happen. And so I'll be covering the NFL schedule release. We're getting closer to training camps opening up, so that's going to be good. I'll be covering the Patriots training camp, seeing if there's any spotlights or anything. We've also got the crazy story with Tim Tebow training and trying to become a tight end for the Jaguars. Like, what is going on? That story's crazy. I may talk about that tomorrow. That might be tomorrow's video, because that's just a wild story. Tim Tebow trying to train and be a tight end for the Jaguars. That's a wild story. So the NFL, man, is just crazy. It's so good that this is the sport. This is the league that I chose to cover the most, because it's never ending information. It's never ending excitement. Even when you're in the offseason, when there's no actual football being played, the storylines are endless, man. It's crazy to talk about. And I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I hope you guys enjoy my coverage of the NFL, because I try my best to give you guys the most up-to-date and most current information out there available for you guys to know, so you guys keep up to date as well. So make sure to smash that like button, notification bell, and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club. We are on the road to 400 subscribers. Can you believe that? Can you believe that we are on the road to 400 subscribers? That's crazy, isn't it? It's wild. Help me get there by smashing that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.